Coming up on Look Today, well, Lieutenant Governor Hochul announced today in Saratoga Springs that state and local officials will attempt to curb underage drinking. I've got details. And a new partnership between the Glens Falls Police Department and CVS provides ways to dispose of medications safely. More on that coming up. And the Saratoga Pride Community Group held a vigil in Congress Park last night. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome, everyone. I'm Jay Hood Jackson, and this is Look Today. Tonight's program, I sit down with Cindy Sherwood. She's the Vice President of Development for Glens Falls Hospital. And we're joined by Carl Cedrone. He's the Chairman of the Glens Falls Foundation Board of Trustees. And they're here to talk about the upcoming golf tournament and the capital campaign at the hospital. I also sit down with Mark Petrie. He's the President of the Glens Falls LGBT community group, The Bridge. And he's here to talk about the upcoming Gay Pride Parade happening this Sunday, June 19. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, we've got these headline stories. In our lead story, Lieutenant Governor Hochul announced today in the Hall of Springs in Saratoga that the state will focus on curbing underage drinking at concert venues. Now, the Lieutenant Governor announced that state officials will be working closely with the DMV to scan driver licenses when patrons are admitted to a venue. Now, the press conference, by the way, was held outside the Hall of Springs near the major Saratoga music venue, SPAC. We spoke to Owen McShane, Director of Investigations for the Department of Motor Vehicles, about a new machine to help determine the validity of driver's licenses.
It conducts a forensic examination of the licenses in the field using different light sources and validates the documents.
Now, this regulation is to stop underage kids from drinking alcohol and ultimately suffering either fatal automobile accidents or alcohol poisoning. Well, we also spoke to Vincent Bradley. He's the chairman of the New York State Liquor Authority.
It's a new operation, but we're very, very active, and over the last 5 years have been exceedingly active in combating underage drinking at the State Liquor Authority. More recently, we've been partnering with the Department of Motor Vehicles and doing operations throughout New York State at different locations that are problem locations for underage drinking.
In other news, the Glens Falls Police Department has partnered up with CVS. The partnership is a combined effort to allow people to properly dispose of medications. A red CVS collection box has been placed in the lobby of the police station, which, by the way, is open 24/7. The goal is to give people a better alternative to throwing away unused prescription drugs. Now, this partnership provides a community with a new tool to fight against opioid epidemic by keeping these drugs out of the hands of frequent users. Now, we spoke to Anthony Lydon. He's the chief of police at Glens Falls Police Department.
It's important for the community to be able to dispose of those things in a safe manner and to get those out of the hands or out of the way of children and also drug addicts that may be looking for a way to abuse those medications.
Yeah, great initiative. Switching from news to weather. Clear skies brought a lot of sunshine to the area, and the temperatures heated the day up into the mid-70s. Beautiful day. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, we've got an update on the vigil that happened last night in Congress Park in Saratoga Springs. Well, Saratoga Springs came together to show solidarity between the LGBT group and the rest of the community. Now, the vigil featured live music as well as speakers, including Mayor Joanne Yepsen. Now, more than 80 people gathered in the park. They mourned the victims of the Orlando tragedy. And they also flew the pride flag in honor of their lives. We spoke to Parker Diggory. She's the Director of Spiritual and Religious Life at Skidmore College.
It means a lot to be a part of a community that's willing to come together. There were people here from all sorts of religious communities, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, beyond, Unitarian, and people of goodwill of all sorts, queer people, straight people, and it was wonderful to see that come together.
Up next, I sit down with Cindy Sherwood. She's a vice president of development for Glens Falls Hospital. We're joined by Carl Cedrone. He's a chairman of the Glens Falls Foundation Board of Trustees. They're here to talk about the upcoming golf tournament and the capital campaign at the hospital. Plus, I also sit down with Mark Petrie. He's a president of the Glens Falls LGBT community group, The Bridge. And he's here to talk about the upcoming Gay Pride Parade happening Sunday, June 19. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, join us for an interview. Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. Well, I got a couple of lookouts tonight. The first one goes to a story you saw earlier in the cast with Parker Diggory. The reason I want to bring Parker into this is that, lo and behold, probably around 1975, my wife and I moved into town with our young daughter, and our next door neighbors were the Diggorys, Terrence and Ann, Ariel and Parker. So I think the last time I saw Parker, she was about 4 years old. But they're a wonderful family. And Parker is now, my God, she's the director of religious and spiritual something at Skidmore College. Whatever that means, I don't know. But congratulations, Parker. It is very nice to see you again. And the other lookout goes to Cheryl Hage Perez. Can't help but bring her into our lookout tonight because she's so dedicated to veterans. And she's so dedicated to homelessness and providing veterans with just the support systems they need when they try to get back into the community. I think I've rarely met anybody as passionate as Cheryl, so she gets the other lookout. All right, tonight on Look TV, the Saratoga City Council meeting. They're always fun. And don't forget, you can tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.